Hi guys, and welcome back to your English 2 classroom. Today we're going to talk about Texas versus Johnson majority opinion. You are to do all of the activities that go along with this: the get ready, the read, the check your understanding, and the analyze the text. This is pretty difficult to understand. Most of you probably aren't used to reading a court opinion. These two selections go together. You won't have a test until we've read and completed all the activities for both of these. So these are paired texts. They're very short, but they're very dense and very difficult to understand. So I went over this with my face-to-face learners yesterday, that an argument is your opinion and the evidence that goes along with it. So you're going to be looking for the arguments that are made in this piece of writing. I want you to stop here and take note and give two examples of times when your rights could clash with those of another person. One example would be you might think it's your right to drive as fast as you want to drive, but if you speed, that could be reckless driving and you could endanger other lives. Therefore, we have limits on the speed that you can go. So even though we do live in a basically free society, there are limits on our individual freedoms based on if they infringe on the rights of other people. This court case is about burning the American flag, which is a very controversial topic. You're welcome to form your own opinion about it, but we're just going to look at some differing opinions. So this is a court opinion. So the Supreme Court decided whether it was legal or illegal to burn the American flag. This was in 1989. The flag burning incident that started the court case happened in 1984, and a man was arrested for burning the flag, and then the case went all the way to the Supreme Court. And then they decided on it in 1989. So as you read it, make sure you do annotations and note taking and really think about it. You could even Google this case and read more about it. But when you get through reading it, you're going to come back here and you're going to list the claims that the Supreme Court justice who wrote the opinion makes as to why they decided the way they did. And then here's a vocabulary activity here at the bottom. Here are your words. So go ahead and look those words up. Learn their definitions and what they mean. You don't really have to write them down anywhere, and then complete this activity. And that's all you have to do on the Get Ready page. Now let's move to the actual court case. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but remember you can have it read to you if you'd like. It is a little bit difficult to understand, but here's the background that's going to help you. At the 1984 Republican National Convention, people protested the policies of then President Ronald Reagan. So this was a long time ago, way before you guys were born. One of the protesters, Gregory Lee Johnson, set an American flag on fire. He was punished with a fine and a jail term for breaking a state law banning flag desecration. Desecration means destroying something. He appealed, and the case was sent to the Supreme Court to decide whether flag burning is a form of expression, like freedom of speech, protected by the Constitution. The court delivered its ruling in 1989. William J. Brennan, who served on the Supreme Court from 1956 to 1990, wrote the majority opinion in this case. So after the Supreme Court decides a case, then one of the justices, it's another word for judge, one of the justices will then write it up. They'll write out the opinion and why they decided the way that they did. The reason it says the majority opinion is because there's usually some justices who do not agree with it, so they vote. So it might be a 5-4 vote or a 6-3 vote because there are 9 justices. So as you read, you're going to compare. I encourage you to watch this screencast because it shows you how to think about, and it actually gives you some good information as they start reading. So this is just two people discussing the text and kind of showing you how to think about it and to discuss it. All right, so I'm not going to read this for you, but he said the whole thing, but I will start it out by saying they deliver the verdict first. We decline, therefore, to create for the flag an exception to the joust of principles protected by the First Amendment. To say that the government has an interest in encouraging proper treatment of the flag, however, is not to say that it may criminally punish a person for burning a flag as a means of political protest. So I'm just going to go ahead and start off by telling you, in case that's hard for you to understand, that the Supreme Court ruled that it is not against the law to burn the American flag in protest. Okay? So however you feel about that, you have the right to your own opinion about that. But the Supreme Court did decide that a person could not be punished or jailed for burning the American flag if it's just that. Now, if there were some other things that went along with it, then that would be a different story. That it was protected under the First Amendment. Okay. So then you can continue reading. What I wanted to point out to you, because I've already had a question about it this morning, is that this citation right here, this is a citation. It is a citation of a prior court case. Okay. So when the next question asks you what part of that is a citation, so Barnett 319 U.S. at 640, that means that this that he's quoting right here came from a prior court case. And that's what they do when they're deciding a case. They use precedent. Precedent means court cases that have been previously decided. Because when one judge or the Supreme Court at one time decides that something is legal or illegal or constitutional or not constitutional, usually it's big things by the time it gets to the Supreme Court, then that becomes precedent, and they can say, look, the court has already decided this. It is already settled law. You've got to show me something. You've got to show us something to make us change our minds about this. So highlight the words that Brennan cites from another legal document. So this just gives you a definition of compulsion here. But since the citation is right here, I believe it's this entire paragraph that is the citation. Okay. Now reread it and paraphrase what it means. So let me help you with this. Is everybody listening? I'm doing this with my class too. National unity as an end which officials may foster by persuasion and example is not in question. The problem is whether, under our Constitution, compulsion or forced obligation, as here employed, is a permissible means for its achievement. So I'm going to paraphrase that, and then you can paraphrase it in your own words. National unity is something that should be fostered by persuasion. So flag burning is a very divisive issue. I do remember this. In 1984, I was probably, maybe in third grade or something, fourth grade, fifth grade, somewhere around in there. And I do remember this, and I do remember the Supreme Court case. It was a very controversial topic, just like a lot of the things that we have going on today. And so it was a big deal. Most people don't want to see the American flag burned, okay? However, the Supreme Court ruled that even though flag burning causes a lot of disunity in the country, it is a very controversial topic that causes a lot of unrest. There were a lot of protest, unrest, things kind of like what's going on today. But just to keep national unity, they said, it's not a reason to force someone to have respect for the flag. Does that make sense? They're saying, although we would like for people to have proper treatment of the flag, to treat the flag properly, even though we would like that, we can't force it. Okay? So let's continue. And here is Justice William J. Brennan, who was writing this opinion. Highlight the claim Brennan makes about the consequences of the decision. So I think you can find that. What were the consequences of the decision? What happened? And I think you can go back to the introduction and kind of see what was going on at the time. What happened as a result of this decision? How does Brennan use a court case from the past, Abrams versus United States, to support his claim? So that gives me an idea of where I'm looking. So look, here's another citation. It looks a lot like the one up here. Here's another citation, Abrams versus United States. To paraphrase Justice Holmes, we submit that nobody can suppose that this one gesture of an unknown man will change our nation's attitude towards its flag. In other words, just because this one person burned a flag doesn't mean that suddenly the whole country is just going to forget about our respect for the flag and that the flag will lose its stature in the country, basically. Okay? So what is the claim and how does he use that to support it? And then your next question, underline the two phrases set off by commas in the first sentence of paragraph 4. Guys, set off by commas means that is everybody looking? This is the phrase that's set off by commas. That means there's commas around it. In fact, and it tells you to underline them, I think, but I'm highlighting them. Where's the other phrase that's set off by commas? Not weakened. In fact, and not weakened. Reread the sentence without these phrases and what do they add to Brennan's meaning? So why basically did he add these two interjected phrases in these commas? The sentence will make sense without them. So what do they add to the sentence? Why do you think he added them? Okay, and that's all of that. There's 3 questions there for the read part. Is everybody good on that? All right, let's move on. We won't talk about the check your understanding questions. Let's move on to the analyzing the text. So you're going to answer these 5 questions. If you have a question about one of the questions, you can contact me. I know it sounds strange. Let's see what this activity. You don't have to do this research activity, okay? So everybody, you do not have to do this research activity. So answer the 5 questions up top. That's usually what we've been doing here lately, is not doing the bottom. We just don't have time for all of that. Then I do want you to go back and revisit your vocabulary terms, compulsion, reaffirmation, resilience, and implicit, and do this activity. Remember, if you think you've got it right and when you check it, it says it's wrong, go up here and reset it and then type in all the words again and see what you get. Read this vocabulary strategy part at the bottom, but you don't have to do this. All right, we've got a little bit of time, so let's just go back and look at the 5 questions. What earlier points of law does Justice Brennan use to support the Supreme Court's opinion in this case? So you're going back again to those citations, those court cases that he used as precedent for this case. How does the information from previous cases support his claims? So just look at what he cited from those cited, C-I-T-E-D, from those previous cases and ask yourself, how does that help support his claim of how they ruled? Remember, they ruled that it was not unconstitutional to burn the American flag, meaning you can burn the American flag without penalty. Compare. In its argument to make flag burning a criminal offense, what consequences did Texas predict might happen? So this happened in Texas, and there was a state law against burning the flag, and that's what got challenged in the Supreme Court. What consequences did Texas predict might happen? So what did the lawyers for the state of Texas say? Hey, if we let people burn the flag, this is going to happen. How did the Supreme Court interpret the significance of these possible events? So what did the Supreme Court say about that? So the lawyers for the state of Texas said, if we allow flag burning, this is going to happen. But the Supreme Court said, we don't think that's the case. So what did they say? And support with evidence from the text. So copy and paste some quotes there within your answer, but write in complete sentences. How does Justice Brennan support the idea that the flag's deservedly cherished place in our community will be strengthened, not weakened by the ruling? How does he support that idea? So his idea is that the flag's cherished place in our community will be strengthened by these protests or by people burning the American flag for protest. So just for example, I think what he's saying is people become outraged by the flag burning, and therefore they become even more dedicated to protecting the flag and honoring the flag. So, not to bring up a really controversial topic, but I am. It reminds me a little bit of the controversy right now for kneeling for the Pledge of Allegiance. Kneeling for the Pledge of Allegiance, however you feel about it, has brought more attention to the Pledge of Allegiance and caused more people to like say, we need to protect this. We need to honor the flag. Okay. So do you see what I'm saying? He's saying that the protests are actually strengthening the flag standing in the community. So you see what you can find out about that. And then number 4, how is the image of the flag flying over Fort McHenry related to the central idea of the court opinion? So you're going to have to go back to the part of the passage where it talks about the flag flying over Fort McHenry, and how is it related to the central idea of the court opinion, which is it's not illegal to burn the flag, and here's why. Number 5, Justice Brennan repeatedly uses the word resilience to refer to the United States. What does the repetition of this word suggest about his view of the Constitution? So make sure you understand what the word resilience means. When someone repeats something over and over again in a piece of writing, it means it's important. They do it on purpose. So how does he view the Constitution in light of him using this word resilience over and over again? These are tough questions, guys. I would recommend that you read the court opinion more than once. It's not very long. I mean, look at it. It's only a few paragraphs. Once you take out those questions, it's only, six or 7 paragraphs. So I would read it more than once. Look up any unfamiliar words. Let's just kind of quickly go back through what you've got to do. So you had to do the get ready portion here by answering this question and doing the vocabulary at the bottom, and then you'll come back and fill out this chart after you get through reading. Then you have to read and answer the embedded questions, which we went over those. You have to do the check your understanding multiple choice, and then you have to answer the questions at the top. You do not have to do the research bit at the bottom. And then you do have to do the critical vocabulary activity, but not the activity at the bottom of this page. All right, that's it for today. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you next time.